Any question you would like to ask? Yes.
To which extent of grace we can get from our Sadguru?
What is your concept of grace?
Earful.
You see, first, it is the grace of the Lord that we get human birth. It is entirely His grace. Then, further grace that we get that environment, atmosphere in which we can think about the Lord, about the Father. We feel the pull of the Father within. Then it is also His grace that we find ourselves on the path. Then it is also His grace that we get an opportunity and facilities and environments to attend to our meditation. All this happens by His grace. Then naturally, when we are attending to meditation, by His grace, we get more and more of it. The more grace grows and grows. Ultimately, we become Him. That's all His grace. Nothing happens without His grace. We start with His grace and we end with His grace. Yes.
I've got two related questions. First is, when we first start meditating, our first attempts at meditation, is it motivated by Master's grace or our own initiative? Second question is, if someone we know is not managing to do his or her meditation, is it something we can do, or is it all the Master's hands?
But brother, I have just said, we never even think about the Father without His grace. Question of our attending to meditation without His grace doesn't arise. Unless He gives us that opportunity, that facility, that environment in which we have to build our meditation, how can we attend to it? And those environments and opportunities and facility we don't get without His grace at all. More or less, it is always grace that we attend to meditation. Then we should try to make use of His grace and attend to meditation. And then we get more and more of His grace. Unless His pull is there from within, nobody will attend to meditation. He makes us restless to become one with Him from within. Then we try to search Him. Then His grace that we find the path to search Him. Then His grace that we can travel on that path and find our destination. Sorry. Nothing happens without grace at all. We feel we are attending to our meditation. Actually, He is pulling us from within and we can't help attending to meditation. As I often give an example, if we are hungry and there is no food in the plate, we have nothing to eat. We are fighting with our hunger. And if the food is very delicious lying before us and we have no hunger at all, we will never look at that food at all. And if we have that hunger and that food is also very delicious before us in the plate, our hands automatically move. Now it is not in our hand to have that hunger and to have that food in the plate. But when those two facilities you get, hunger and food, then your hands do move. That is our part which we have to play. Hunger forces you to move, and the delicious food compels you to be taken. And that hunger to go back to the Father and the opportunity to build meditation, to get His bliss and peace within, we don't get without His grace. Yes?
In many places in our literature, it says that if one does not look for a living master in this life, while in the human form, he may not get the human form again. Yet, if one looks for the master because of the Lord's grace, why are those condemned who do not receive the Lord's grace?
No, it is not, nobody is condemned. It is a statement.
So they may not get another
Yes.
human life.
Yes, if the Lord's grace is not with them to come in touch with the living Master, if the Lord's grace is not with them to get the human birth again,
That means they might have to start over to the new day.
no, that's wrong. According to their karma, the destiny will be shaped. They may get the human birth according to their karmas. They may go to the lower species. They may even get little higher if they have done good karma. But they don't get the human birth to attend to meditation. Without His grace, we don't get this opportunity. We may or may not. Kabir says, when the fruit drops from the tree, no matter what you try, it can never be put there again. So if you lose this opportunity, you won't get this opportunity every time. You may or may not. Guru Nanak gives the example that this human birth is just like a last ladder of your stair. If you put an effort, you will be in your flat. If you slip right from the top ladder, you will right down. You can scale down. So the idea is to impress upon us the advantage of human birth, so that we may put proper use to it, not waste, just being slave of the senses. That is the idea behind it.
That is the ultimate goal of everyone to eventually find that sometime in the future.
Well, it is entirely His hand, whom He marks when He marks. That is entirely in His hand. Yes.
Maharaji, can you give us some suggestions as to how we may benefit the most from our Dara experience?
I don't know what to give the suggestion. I can only look after your comforts here in the guest house. And now it is for you to make use of this opportunity. You see, the atmosphere you feel around of love and service and humility, that we should try to take it with us, digest within us, and try to make use of it. Dera is not made of brick and stones alone. Its foundation is just on love and service and humility. Wherever there is love, there is humility. And you can never serve without love for anybody. These things are all just correlated to each other. Love and service and humility. People we love, we are always humble before them. People we love, we always like to obey them, to please them. Another word, to serve them. So, if we are influenced with that type of atmosphere, we should try to take and preserve that atmosphere in which we have to build our meditation. Yes?
Master, the non-thought science was not a secret visions of the Master were dreams and also dreams of the Master. What does that indicate?
Well, the Lord knows best what is it meant for the person. You see, you can't interpret these dreams. They are all individuals. We should never try to interpret. Good dreams are good dreams, that's all. We should never try to interpret it and give meaning to them unnecessarily. Yes?
Master, can you speak on the importance of bhajan?
Importance of bhajan? What are we meeting here for? You think still the importance of bhajan is lacking? You see, our soul is the spark of the divine ocean. And having taken the association of the mind, it has become slave of the mind. Mind itself is not independent. Mind is now also slave of the senses. So the soul has become also slave of the senses. So whatever karmas now we commit under the influence of the mind, soul has to pay for it. And in order to account for those karmas, we are shifted from one flesh to another flesh, from one body to another body, from one house to another house. And wherever we take birth, we are unhappy and miserable. No matter, even if you come as a king or a ruler, you can never be happy in this creation. Because instinct of the soul is always towards its origin. It can only be happy when it goes back to its own source, its own origin. So we are all miserable in his separation. So unless the soul seeks its own origin, it can never get peace, it can never get happiness. And the only way soul can achieve to that level, reach to that level, when it escapes from the clutches of the mind. And mind also will only come to its own source when it abstains from the senses. And since mind is fond of pleasure, unless the mind gets better pleasure than the sensual pleasure, mind refuses to leave the worldly pleasures. So the Lord has kept the better pleasure within every one of us here at the eye center, irrespective of caste or creed or color. And that better pleasure has been referred by so many mystics in so many terms, so many words. So when we are able to withdraw our mind with the help of Simran and Dhyan to the eye center, withdraw from these senses and come back to the eye center and attach the mind to that better pleasure, which is far superior than the pleasure of the senses, then mind refuses to go to the senses. Because mind is fond of pleasure. Unless you give better pleasure than the sensual pleasure, it refuses to leave the sensual pleasure. And that better pleasure the Lord has kept within every one of us. So when we are in touch with that spirit, that Holy Ghost as Christ refers, the word, our logos, our name, These 4-5 terms Christ has referred it. So we experience its light. We experience that inner silent music, and mind gets absorbed in that light, in that music, which is much superior and better than the sensual pleasures. With the help of that, mind comes to its own source, Tirkuti, and soul gets released from the mind. So when the knot is no more, and all coverings are removed from the soul, then soul shines. Then it becomes whole. Then it becomes worthy to become one with the Father. So, only with the help of meditation, we can achieve or reach to that level of consciousness, where the soul gets released from the clutches of the mind, where the soul becomes whole, where the soul shines, and no more wrapping is there, soul on anymore. Then all these karma which we have been collecting from ages, from previous births, all become ineffective. Because they are only concerned, are attached to the mind. And so no more, soul is no more slave of the mind. Now soul controls the mind and mind controls the senses. So with the help of bhajan or meditation, we have to reverse the whole process. Now senses control the mind and mind control the soul. Then with the help of bhajan or meditation, soul controls the mind and mind controls the senses. Then only soul can go back to its own source, religion. And that is the advantage of bhajan.
Rashi, what are the effects or benefits, or what happens between the master and disciple during the process of darshan?
What happened to whom? To master or disciple? Well, then disciple should know better. What happens to a lover when he sees the beloved? What happens? Does he calculate what gain he is making being in love with his beloved? Or he is just happy to be in the company of the beloved? No lover calculates the advantages of love. He is happy in his love. He is absorbed in his love. No matter what sacrifice he may have to give, what he may have to go through, but the lover is happy to be with his beloved. And that is what happens to a loving disciple in the company of the master. Yes.
Master, it's written that it's not good to pray for worldly things. Is it okay to pray for your guidance and acceptance of your will?
These are not the worldly things. To seek the inner guidance and to live in the well of the Father, you are not asking for any worldly boons. You are asking Him to give you strength to go through that destiny or that karma. That is what our attitude should be. The object of meditation is that we should be able to go through our destiny smilingly and cheerfully, without losing our balance. That is the object of meditation. But by mere asking, you won't get it. By attending to meditation, you'll be able to develop that attitude. So instead of just asking, we should take a positive step of achieving. Yes?
When the soul takes over from the mind, Is that when we we're free of attachment?
Naturally, sister, attachments are all with the mind. Soul is always attached to the Father. Soul is not attached to the mind at all. Soul is attached to the Father, it is dominated by the mind. Its inclination is always towards its own source, towards its own origin. Soul is not happy being under the mind. Soul is not happy, it is miserable. Yes, please.
Days come when people could try body, the mind, and will not meditate. That too is great.
Pardon?
On those days come that even harder to try, the body will not sit still, the mind will not sit still for meditation. That's still the great.
You see, mind is so fond of running through these 9 apertures. It doesn't want to stay at the eye center. It doesn't want to stay. Mind is so fond of pleasure of the senses. It doesn't want to stay in the vacuum at all, to begin with. But when it gets into the habit of staying there, then it is automatically get attached to the divine melody within. Then there's no vacuum. So then its tendency is not downward and outward. Then its tendency is inward and upward. For example, if a river is flowing and you want to arrest the water of the river by putting a dam, you will succeed for some time to arrest that water. But when the water becomes too much to hold in the catchment area, it will break the dam and even overflow the banks of the river. But if before that too much accumulation of the water, if you put another channel for the water to flow in a different direction, dam always remains permanent. You follow my point? So we are just putting a dam here by withdrawing our mind with the help of Simran and Dhyan from the senses. But just holding it here won't do, unless the mind finds another channel to flow. Otherwise it will run back to the senses with great vigor, great force. You can't build too much suppression. It will react very sharply. But when you are, after holding it here, you attach it to the divine melody within, then it starts flowing in a different direction. Then dam is permanent. It doesn't come down to the senses. So we have not only to withdraw our mind to the eye center, we have also to attach it to the Shabad and Naam within. That is the only difference between Vedanta and Santmat. They try to control their mind by austerities, by strong will power, by running away from the situations, by not facing the world, by renouncing all what possibly they can. But they don't put their mind to any direction that it can stay there. The result is, sometimes it has horrible reaction. It runs back to the senses with great vigor again. So Santmat believes that attachment can only create detachment within us. Detachment can never create any attachment in anybody. If you tell a girl that you forget your father and mother and brother and sister and we will marry you to some gentleman. No matter what she does, she can never succeed. But when she falls in love with somebody to marry him, she automatically forgets everybody. That is the characteristic and nature of our mind. So, unless it is attached to something better than the sensual pleasure, mind refuses to detach itself. So, when we are attached to the divine melody within, we are automatically detached from the sense. That attachment creates detachment in us. Otherwise, detachment will not create any attachment within you. It will only create suppression in you. Yes, sister?
You were just Master, you were just talking about the woman falling in love with the husband. Where does that enter in sadhana? Who's falling in love? I guess I'm really confused about that, especially since I've seen you in a Hindu.
Can you make your question a little clearer? I'm not been able to understand it.
You were just saying about a woman falling in love with her husband. It's like, on what degree is that allowed?
All right, don't call it husband, call it a young man. Call it a young man. You see, if a girl tries that, let me forget my mother and father and sister, then I would like to fall with somebody, will she succeed? When she falls in love with a young man, she automatically forgets everybody else. If you are allergic to the word husband, say young man. You see, in India it is different. Our examples are mostly with the background of Indians, because here we have arranged marriages. So naturally, you see, if you tell a girl that we will fix your marriage with some good young man, you forget everybody, she can't do it. When the marriage is arranged and she is married and she falls in love with him, automatically she forgets everybody. So you can interpret in your own way.
Margie, what is mind? Like the soul is the spark of the divine. What is mind?
Mind is an agent of call.
What's it made of? Is it not like the soul is light?
Mind is made of matter. It has no life in itself. Mind only gets strength from the soul. Mind is not living, it is dead without the soul. Soul has life in it. Mind has no life in it.
So the soul finds the life of the mind.
But it takes life from the soul and it overpowers the soul. Yes.
If you get given a cat, which is not a naturally vegetarian animal, and you give the cat meat to eat, is that wrong?
Can you be a little louder, please?
If a satsang gets given a cat, which is not a vegetarian animal, and you give the cat meat to eat, is that wrong?
That's all.
If somebody has a cat and it meat, the cat can eat it all right.
Well, sister, if you don't eat yourself, do you feel happy in feeding anybody with meat?
I think we should say that the cat is not vegetarian, she got it.
Pardon, she will die?
The cat is not vegetarian, she got it, given to her. The cat has already accepted and been given to her. So she wasn't wrong.
Is it very essential to keep a cat? See, these are the outcome of loneliness. We like to belong to somebody. we feel somebody belongs to me. We are trying to overcome our loneliness by having these pets. It's okay to have them, but not being obsessed by them. I often receive letters from some ladies. I'm yearning to come to Bias, but I cannot leave my 260. Nobody is willing to take care of us. You see, we take these liability on our shoulder unnecessarily, and then we become slave of them. Yes?
You sort of answered it, but after, I would like to rise above my senses. And it's much easier here in India, where the men sit in one place and the women sit in another. You have more attention directed towards you. In the United States, it's very difficult not to be in your senses. It's a terrible thing, man.
Well, you can have any pattern. I mean, we can't force such patterns on others. We can only have here, but traditions are coming on. But even here, traditions are now going. You are all sitting mixed.
I wish I didn't believe it.
Any other question? Yes?
You talked about the Darshan, that the disciple, when he sees the master, he is in love with the master, and he wants to have a look of the beloved. So what about the drishti? What the master does to the disciple?
You see, drishti is a Hindi word. You people are all confused with the word. Drishti means to look at anybody.
But isn't it the master of the disciple?
Well, if master loves the disciple, he will look at the disciple. You see, master is always looking at everybody. We are not looking at him. He is always right within us. But we don't try to look within. His drishti is always there. But for whom? No use to us when we don't reach to that level of consciousness. These are just Hindi words. Don't get confused by them.
I have been able to listen to a tape recently where you said jokingly, I'm not even welcome in my own house. What do you mean by that?
What?
On tape that I listened to in Vancouver, you made a statement that you were not even welcome in your own house.
I don't know in what reference it was said. You can't pick up one sentence you see and start interpreting them.
I'm thinking that the body.
I say we are even stranger in our own house, not welcome.
Statement I
I must have said in some reference, you see, to something, I don't know. House means the body or other house. I mean, it depends upon, you see, in what reference is being talked about.
because I thought she meant the equal justice. We don't allow you to come in, so to speak.
No, don't try to draw your own meaning. You read the whole of it, then it may be clear to you. You can send me the transcript, I'll be able to tell you what I meant. But sometimes many things are said in a very light mood, you see. They may not mean anything at all. Then it depends also how much serious the question is. So naturally, answer has to have the same seriousness. Yes.
Master, did I recently read that certain Satmag books are off limits to seekers?
Pardon?
Certain of the Satmat books are not to be read by seekers. Did I read that recently?
Certain books are not to be read by
Seekers?
seekers.
Seekers.
No, no. All books are available to seekers. But we have limited certain books not to be sold in bookstores. Not that they should not be read by seekers. They are open to everybody. Everybody can read them. Nothing can say, secret from anybody. But there are certain books which is unnecessary to sell them in bookstores, like Sarbachan, like spiritual letters of Babaji Maharaj. What will they understand if they buy the book? Nothing. A seeker, if he has read some other books with reference along with them, naturally he will understand all that. So there is no restriction on their sale to anybody from the Bera book stalls or from our centers outside. They can be sold to anybody. But we don't want to keep them in the book stalls where their books are exhibited for general public, or certain shops selling our books. I only restricted that they should not be sold there. It is unnecessary for that. Otherwise, there is no restriction on their reading. Certainly not.
Thank you.
Yes?
Master, I heard you say that you don't initiate Indian women, single Indian women until they're 32. I wondered if the initiation of American women at a young age, if they're, doesn't make one a better disciple than married.
Well, marriage is such a question I would like not to give my opinion. Especially in these days where marriage has become meaningless to people. But they have written so much, they have said so much. I know it has hardly any effect on anybody. But I better not discuss this. Now married or unmarried doesn't make any difference at all to people. Yes.
Does God enjoy the suffering of this world? Or there is another way of reaching God without the suffering? Because it seems to me that from the book, the yearning and the element of suffering to reach God seems like opposite of being happy that we reach God.
Well, brother, when a beloved is separated from a lover, naturally the beloved lover is suffering in separation. But would she call it a suffering? Would she like to get rid of that love and also to get rid of that type of suffering of separation? Or is the lover is happy in that atmosphere of love within himself or the beloved?
But I don't see anybody who's happy being separated from God. I don't see them, I don't find it, at least for myself, I speak for myself. I don't find it happiness or loving, being
No, that is what I said to begin with. You see, nobody is happy being away from him. No matter what you have in this creation, any material comforts, any material fame, anything to your credit, you can never be happy. Because happiness is concerned with the soul. And soul is not satisfied all what is around it. Soul can only be satisfied when it goes to its own origin. So we are all suffering, more or less. Everybody is suffering.
That's not true. If I love somebody and I'm going to see that somebody, I'll be happy to go and see him. And I won't be suffering. The experience won't be dramatic. It will be a source of joy that I'm going to see the person whom I love.
But if you are kept away from your love and not allowed to meet at all by the guards, then what is your attitude?
I don't understand.
You see, if you are imprisoned and you are helpless to go to your beloved, what type of suffering is that? Where is the joy of going to the beloved? Then you know you can't break these walls. Same is our condition. We are in the prison of the car, and our beloved is outside, and we cannot break these walls to be with our beloved. So that type of suffering we are facing today.
Is it necessary for me to break the walls as I can? It's easier much for God to come in.
Of course, He can do. He could do. Beloved can always come, but who can dictate the beloved? Lover can't dictate the beloved. Lover either can feel the joy of being in the presence of the beloved, or can suffer in separation. But he can't dictate the beloved. Then he is not a lover at all. We are all in this prison of 84. And we can't break these walls to be with our beloved. And it is entirely in the hand of beloved to break these walls and to pull us towards level. But suffering is there in the separation. Yes.
I've read that disease, poverty, and public ridicule are special blessings on a disciple, and I wanted to know, how is that so?
You see, it's the way of looking or justifying the grace of the Father. The grace is which prompts us towards meditation, which diverts our attention to the Lord, which reminds us about the Lord, about the Father, which creates separation, you see, for the Father, longing to become one with the Father. That's His grace. Now, how He creates it, He has His own ways and means to do it. Generally, we say it when we are sick, we remember Him very much. When we are poor, we always pray to Him to give, Father, look after our need, this and that. At least we remember Him. So from that point of view, sometimes people say that perhaps these are the grace, this is the grace which pulls us towards the Father. When He gives us riches, worldly fame, worldly achievements, we are liable to forget Him. Not everybody forgets Him, but we are liable to forget Him. Because then we are involved in those activities and we forget the giver. We just involved ourselves in the gifts and never think about the giver. From that point of view, it is said that perhaps these are the things which we can take it as a grace, because they definitely divert our mind towards the Father and reminds us about Him at every step. But this wealth and richness and fame and this power, we are liable to forget Him sometimes. Mostly we forget about Him. And we do all sorts of bad deeds under their influence. So naturally, which keeps us away from the Father cannot be His grace. Only which takes us back to the Father is His grace. Which keeps us tied down to this creation, pulls us back to the level of creation. We cannot take it as His grace. Only which pulls our roots from this creation and takes us back to the Creator, that is only grace. Now, what turns our mind towards the Father? It depends on different situations with different people. Anything which takes our mind to Him is grace. Anything which brings us back to the level of the creation, naturally is not His grace. Yes.
Margie, sometimes we meet disciples who, since initiation, have never had an opportunity to meditate. They've never put any effort into meditation. Wondering why does Master, in some cases, not give the inner code, which is necessary for.
Well, some seeds do fall in a barren ground. That is why Christ gave the example of sowing of the seed. He says some seed fall on the barren grounds, where they never sprout, just are crushed under the feet. Some falls on the rocky ground. They just come up, but since there is no earth, no ground, so there are no roots, they don't sprout much, just withered with the sun. Some seed fall on the marshy ground. They also meditate and also on the same time are victim of certain senses, certain weaknesses. But some seed falls on the fertile ground. Only they yield 80-70% results, you see, in that very lifetime. But once the seed is sown, it's bound to sprout sooner or later. Yes.
Master, I have a friend, and she was at Sangha a few months ago. Some things started happening to her when she was not in meditation. She would be going about her daily work, and her body started to get numb, and she would get pains like pins and needles sticking in her. Now, I understand these things can happen when you're meditating, but I did not know these things would happen when you're not meditating. Can you explain this?
I have not followed your question. She doesn't attend to her meditation?
So she does attend to her meditation.
Then?
And this would happen when she was just going about her daily work, when she was doing her duty, when she was, her...
What happened to her?
Her body would start getting numb, and she would get pins and needles, like feeling like pins and needles were sticking.
When she was meditating?
No, when she was not meditating.
There can be so many physical problems in the body.
She got worried about it, so she talked to her friends about it, and they said, well, your energy's withdrawing. So she wrote a letter to you, and she got an answer, and she did not tell anyone what the letter said, but she was very happy about it.
I can't say what she wrote. The letter reply is always a reference to her question. If she has written that in meditation I am withdrawing, then naturally that will be the answer. But if she says that I don't attend to meditation and then the withdrawal is there, it can be due to some physical handicap also. Yes?
Master, we all know how difficult it is to obtain a little spirituality or a little progress on the path. You have told us that every moment we spend in meditation is to our credit. But still, I have heard that it is possible to lose spirituality. Would you discuss how we lose spirituality and how we can avoid it?
Well, brother, sometimes we become very egoistic about our spiritual progress, and we all erase the effect of all meditation. Sometimes, due to a strong layer of karmas, we are pulled down towards the senses, certain weaknesses. then we find that we are off the path or off the progress. Thick layers of karmas do come, and we see the darkness again. There can be many reasons, but whether we keep on experiencing the spiritual atmosphere within, spiritual experiences within or not, we should continue with meditation. We should not lose heart or stop our meditation. We should continue doing our meditation. The clouds will disappear and the light again will be there. Sun rises every day, but sometimes there are thick clouds and we don't make use of that light. That doesn't mean the sun is not there, but clouds are also there. But sooner or later the clouds do disappear. So similarly, we should not get discouraged. We should continue doing our job, our duty, and leave it to the grace of the Father.
Assessing talking, one way of losing some spirituality.
Excessive useless talking. Talking can be of many types, you see. People who hurt others by tongue, they also talk. People who win others by love, they also talk. People who fill others with the love and devotion of the Father, they also talk. Same tongue is being used. Some people so much, fills them with hatred for each other on the name of religion. They also use the same tongue. So it depends what we talk. Yes?
Master, I would like to hear in your own words, how does the soul first descend into matter?
How did the first soul?
How does the soul descend into matter? How does it become materialized?
How it takes the birth?
Yes, the first soul, how?
You see, souls, according to the karmas, first takes the association of the mind, soul. Then mind, when they are knotted together, and according to the karmas, then souls find the flesh to take birth.
But how does the first original soul, who has no...
How it was creation, the whole creation has come into being.
Yes.
You see, naturally, it is the Lord Himself who has projected Himself like this in the universe. Naturally, drops have no intention to leave the sea unless with the heat the water evaporates from there. And drops have no intention to leave the sea at all. Souls have no intention to leave the Father. It's the Father who has projected Himself in this creation. So originally, soul has no karmas at all. They're absolutely pure. They shine because they are with Father. Otherwise, if they had any karma, they would not be with the Father. No soul can stay with the Father if it has even the slightest impression of a karma. Only a pure soul can be with the Father and can be the Father. So naturally, souls have no karmas of their own at the time of creation. It is the Lord who has pushes the souls to this level of the creation. And they have been made to take the association of the mind. And the creation is such that mind has been filled for weaknesses for the senses. So the ball sets rolling. It is all His design for the creation.
So the Father created forms first. He created the bodies and then put the souls in them.
Naturally, body has to be there when the soul has to come. Adam and Eve, you often hear them, though it is just a myth way of explaining. Only from one flesh another flesh can come. Soul, in order to exist in this creation, needs the flesh to live in. Leaves the body.
So, were the first bodies, were they not human bodies? Were they plant bodies?
He knows best how he has created the creation. These are all different theories, Darwin theory, Adam and Eve theory, and evolution theory. They are all different theories. It's very difficult to pin down which theory is the right one. Very difficult. Quran says if about the creation you go on thinking for 1,000,000 times, you will not solve the problem. So he just brushed aside in one sentence. He says, even for 1,000,000 times you go on thinking, use your intellect, you will not solve this problem of creation. Yes?
If we displease the Lord, that He threw us out of such kind.
Who was we? Where were we? Where was our identity? Where were we? There were not two, there were only one. You read St. John. Nothing existed before the creation. Only He existed. There was nothing else besides Him. So where were we that He was displeased with us? He must be displeased with Himself. Because we never existed. We were part and parcel of Him. That's what I say. He has projected Himself in this creation. Yes.
What was the purpose then?
I think we should ask Him when we go back to Him. That is the only reasonable and plausible explanation I can give. That why He has created, He knows best. If we can know Him, know His reason, then we know Him. And we cannot know Him by this intellect, by this wisdom. We have to acquire that intellect and that wisdom to know Him. Then perhaps we won't ask Him, because we will be part of Him. Then we won't exist, only He would exist. And who will ask and who will answer? Yes? Well, nobody can stop Him. I mean, after all, we can't put any restriction on His will. But Swamiji says that once you go, so these souls will not be sent back at all. Yes?
Maybe he was feeling lonely.
You mean now he has company? He may be still lonely. That's why he is pulling us back to his level, because he is feeling lonely without us. Yes?
I wonder, does he miss us as much as we misses him? Does he miss us or long for us as much as we long for him?
How do you know that you are longing for him?
You mean it is him longing for himself?
Yes. We are only instrument. We are only means. As I often say, he worships himself through us. He worships himself through us. We are just puppets. We are just means. Who are we to miss him? Unless he creates his love in us, who would miss him? Nobody would think about him unless he marks us unless He creates that longing, that love, that devotion in us. We never think about Him. We think we love Him. Actually, He is pulling us towards Him. But for His grace, nobody will ever think about Him. I often give an example, always, that if there's a delicious food in a plate and you are not hungry, you won't look at the food. And if you are very hungry and nothing in the plate, you have nothing to eat. If the food is delicious before you and you are very hungry, your hands start automatically moving. You feed yourself. Now it is not in your hand to have that hunger. It is not in your hand to have that food in the plate. That's entirely in His hand. He is the one who creates that hunger, thirst. He is the one who gives that food, that water to drink. So we can take credit that our hands are moving. We are feeding ourselves, feeding our love and longing which is created within us. That's entirely in His hand. As Christ says that even the hair on the body are numbered. You know, hair are meaningless in the body. Whether there are 100 less or 100 more is meaningless on the body. There are so many on the whole body. But Christ says even they are numbered. Even there we have no discretion. Guru Nanak says even a leaf of a tree doesn't move without His order. So how can we love Him without Him, His grace? He gives us birth in such a family that we think about Him. He gives us those environments, those atmosphere in which we try to think about Him even. And He puts us on the path. He pulls us from within. He gives us these opportunities and facilities to meditate. Everything is in His hand. Yes.
After last night you said that the only real prayer for us to pray was to ask for forgiveness for the things that stand in between us and dealing with the Father. If we make that prayer, does it have any effect?
You only heard part of me. I said that is the only prayer we should make, and that prayer we can only make by meditation, not by uttering few words. That is not prayer. Attending to meditation. Meditation itself is a prayer. Meditation itself is seeking His, provoking for His grace to seek His forgiveness for the sins which stand between us and the Father. So meditation is a real prayer. Just to say a few set words, that is no prayer at all. We have to tune ourselves to Him within. In meditation we hear Him. In prayer we speak to Him. In meditation we hear Him. And when we pray we speak to Him. So we should hear Him. And that is the real prayer. Yes.
It is thought by some that you will take us back in this lifetime. Will you comment on that?
Pardon?
It is thought by some of us that you are so powerful that you will take us back in this very lifetime.
Lord knows best. Nobody can say anything in this life. He knows best what he wants, what he does. As I just said, we are just puppets. Yes, please.
Maharaji, I've often heard and listened to things about doing our meditation with love and devotion, feeling that love and devotion. It appears in the beginning, so much of that love and devotion is emotional and physical. Will that gradually become more of a real sense of love and devotion? The emotion and the physical sense that we have in the early stages, will that grow into a deeper feeling of love and devotion?
Sister, meditation creates that love. Meditation strengthens that love. Meditation helps the love to grow to the extent to become one with Him. It's all meditation. Meditation is nothing but love. It is a love. What are the characteristics of love? To merge into another one, to become another being, to lose your own identity, to lose your own individuality, and to become another being is love. And what is the purpose of meditation? To merge your soul back into the Father. To remove all the dross from the soul and to make it shine and to make it one with Him. That is meditation. So that is why meditation itself is a love. That is why we say that love is God and God is love. Because it has the characteristic of love. Love of God is a characteristic of love. We become one with Him. We lose our own identity. As Christ says that if you love your parents more than me, you are not worthy of me. Worthy of me, worthy to become me. Unless you become me, you cannot become the Father. Because we can only love what we see, what we can know. We cannot love in abstract at all. We cannot love somebody whom we have never seen, about whom we never know. So Christ says, if you love so and so more than me, you are not worthy of me. He says, I have come unto you and you will come unto me. Means you will lose your identity in me. You will become me. And when you become me, you become God. Because I am with God. And that is the necessity of the Master. And for that, naturally, we need a living Master. How we can love them whom we have never seen, whom we don't know, who are as far away as the Father Himself, who are also just legend, who are like the Father. How we can love them? So that is why he is laying so much emphasis on this point. That you have to become worthy of me. Then he says your householders are your enemy. Such strong word he has used. Means they keep you obsessed in themselves. And they don't let you love me. So anything which keeps you away from the Master or from the Father is your enemy. He's not interested in your well-being. And Swamiji says that all these people whose company we day and night keep, our relation, they are thugs. Very strong words the saints use. Because thug is one who deprives you of your own real wealth and doesn't even let you know that he has deprived you. And you smilingly give everything to him. He is thug. Then later on we realize that he has cheated me. He says your relations or your worldly love so much possesses you that you forget the real purpose of your life. So how can you call them your friends? And that is why Christ says, if you love your father and mother more than me, you're not worthy of me. And then at another point Christ referred, somebody asked him that your mother is standing behind you, perhaps desiring to speak to you. And mystics always try to find some excuse to part spiritual knowledge to us, spiritual truth to us. He says, who is my mother? Who is my brother? Those who live in the will of my Father, they are my real relation. They are my mother and they are my brothers. This is a karmic relationship. How many mothers and sisters and brothers we have in the previous lives? If we are not aware of them, for now the present one, for whom you see we are so much obsessed, we will forget them too. If we can do without them, we can also will have to do without these. So they make us realize the reality of life. It is just, they give an example, a play on a stage. You go to see a play at a stage, you don't align yourself with the actor and actresses so much that you start weeping and crying along with them. Happy moments you spend with them and then you come out of the cinema hall and you forget about the whole thing. You never belong to them and they never belong to you. But while seeing the play, we become part and parcel of them. But when we come home, we don't cry and weep and howl for them. What happened there? So similarly, we have to take the world as a reality as it comes. So many passengers we meet while traveling in a train, the companion is good. We have very comfortable journey, very pleasant one. But we never involve them with themselves so much that we forget to get down at our railway station. They go their way and we get out of the train. So many people stay in the hotel, they come from different directions. If the companions are very pleasant, we have very happy time. But we don't get so much attached to them that we forget our own journey and we go wrong with them. Now, different example to explain to ourselves. Guru Nanak says, so many birds come and rest at the tree in the evening, at the dusk time. And some have very beautiful, sweet voice, some have very harsh voice. Some are good to look at, some are ugly to look at. Some are mischievous, some are loving. But when the dawn comes, in the morning, they all fly to their directions. So this is what we are. We have come from different directions, some as mothers, some as fathers, some as brothers, some as friends, some as enemies. And we get so much involved with each other that we forget the real purpose of our life. They only remind us the real purpose of life should not be forgotten. That should be just focused before us. We have to achieve that and we have to travel to achieve that. This is not end all and be all, our relations, our friends. So they don't tell us to leave them and rush and run to the forest or caves. We have to live with them. We have to account for our karmic debts. But still at the same time, we have not to forget the purpose for which We have taken this human birth. That should be before us, and that we must achieve. Yes.
Master, I've heard that there's many universes and worlds such as ours.
Pardon?
I've heard that there's many universes and worlds such as ours. And I was wondering if they too have perfect masters in this same spiritual drama.
Why worry about other universes? Is this not enough for us? There are so many problems here, and we have not been able to solve any yet. Yet we all hate each other, cut each other's throats, and live on each other's stomachs. And we are worried now about the other universes. Naturally, there must be other universes, as they say, mystics say. And then he knows best. We have hardly been able to meet this universe yet. Our problems are same, which existed probably a few thousand years ago.
Some East Indian people I've met claim that Satsangi's wife gets 50% of his spiritual earnings.
Where did you read it?
A friend of ours said that was true.
I have not come across in any literature yet. These are guest house gossips. Rather, they create a more lasting effect on our mind than the teachings probably, than the books. People give more authenticity to such gossips rather than what is written in the books. Then we say the individual karmic relation with the father. And how does the wife get 25% of a husband's meditation? It's an individual relationship with the father. It is not a couple relation. If it is an individual relationship, then probably I think the Western people will be quite at a loss because they have so many wives in their life. Everybody start claiming 25%. See, this is more or less a man's word, as you all know. Someone may have told his wife, you see, that you don't disturb me, let me meditate, I'll give you 25%. So that she doesn't bother him. She doesn't become a block in her way, and in his way. Otherwise, there's nothing like that. We have individual sins, individual good deeds, bad deeds, individual karmic relationship with people. We don't have any soul mate and all that. What to say of body mate? Yes?
I've heard it said that we can live a very simple life and just barely a roof over our head, enough food to live, and clothes. Now, we were just talking about family being thugs. How much should you fight with your family if your family wants a lot more and you don't want a lot more?
Well, brothers, what we say is that this is what all we need. Now you can expand your needs to any extent. Instead of one bed, you can have 100 beds. Instead of one roof, you can have 100 roofs. Instead of one change, you can have 100 change. Instead of one or two dishes to eat, you can have 100 dishes. We can increase our, demands, but all what we need. At the time you see how much you can eat, how much you can bear, how much you need to sleep, how much you need to live. But there's no end to our greed. Yes.
After I read something in Philosophy of the Masters I've always been curious about. It talks about the structure of the body of a perfect master, and it says that he walks like a moonbird and has the eyes of a lion, and that his forehead is broad.
These are the expressions of a lover for the beloved. Don't take them literally. For a lover, every beloved's eye is like that of a moon. For a lover, every beloved walks, whatever you want to say.
Lotus flower on the sole of his foot.
You see, all the best things in the world, the writer, the lover wants to put in the beloved. And unfortunately, only he sees and no other one sees. Only a lover sees all these qualities in the beloved. Other people just pass by the so-called beloved, they don't notice all these things at all. They're all poetic expression of the love. Our Indian poets are very fond of saying that the most beautiful woman they were described as like a moon. And now since they have gone to the moon, they have found nothing but rocks. So now they hesitate to describe the moon. These are all poetic expressions. But you see, for a lover, beloved is everything.